Hey everyone, this is Nitro. In this video, I'm going to talk about my setup for the week, since it is Monday after all. And let's see. So I'm actually not going to display my dragon farming results for this week, simply because I only did one run every day last week. In fact, I did get 2 SSRs though. On Monday, I picked up my very first Yggdrasil Reef. And then on Tuesday, I got a Twilight Armor. So picked up another one of these. So I now have, you can see, I'll have a level 50 as well as a spare one. But those were the only 2 SSRs I got. So nothing else for the rest of the week. I actually did 8 random accessory box purchases from the store as well, because I had a bunch of honor points saved up. And all 8 of them gave me SR items. So there we go. No SSRs, basically. After that, though, I'm currently no longer gambling for weapons because I need to upgrade my existing equipment right now. As much as I want to continue to try to gamble to get an extreme magic bow, I'm going to have to kind of give up on that. Although Zerida with an extreme magic bow and without is an absolutely huge difference. You know, I did a few battles last week with Zerida, and it's very, very hard to use Zerida without an extreme magic bow. You know, for example, I found out that Zerida, even if she activates, let's say she activates her Alhazard Bloodthirster, and you weren't able to attack anyone that turn, so it expires, right? Well, Zerida still has all her soldiers dead. So if she attacks with Killing Blow in the melee, her damage will still go directly to the enemy hero. And if she does it in melee range against an enemy mage like Bozol or Lena or whomever, she can still one-shot them, even without Alhazard Bloodthirster active, right? So that was very interesting for me to see. It was honestly a bit frustrating too, because I had a big advantage, I thought, and then Zerida comes charging forward, melee attacks Bozol with Killing Blow and kills him off. So it really changes the dynamics once you do have an extreme magic bow for Zerida. Nonetheless, I just have too much gear to level up right now, so I'm going to, as I said, hold off on gambling for weapons for now, unfortunately. So after that, I'm going to talk about my shard farming via the Gate of Fates. And actually, I've completely stopped farming my core characters for now, temporarily. So Tieris still needs 9 shards. Landius is stuck at 38 out of 100, right? And the third character that I was previously grinding was Zerida, who is only at 3 out of 150, and she'll stay there for a while. So what am I using all my runs for instead? Well, I am going to fully clear out all of my Gate of Fates of all my characters. So for example, last week I finished Vargas. His Gate of Fate is now at 100%. I finished, for example, Rachel at 100%. I basically worked my way down through this list to get everyone to 100% on their Gate of Fates. And the reason for that, so I'm currently actually at, I think I just finished Varna and Estelle. So I'm currently working my way through Lanford, right? So he's at 40%. Then Sonya, Egbert, Renee, Diehard. I'll even do Geralt and Layla, right? Narm, Liffany, and so on. So I'm just going to work my way through the rest of this list. So there's still quite a few characters to go, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 characters, right? So 17 characters times presumably 5 would be 85 runs. Divide that by 9 daily runs. It's going to take me 10 days to finish off all my remaining characters. Maybe even more, because I think a few of the rare characters like Lester have Gate of Fates too. So basically, anyone who has a Gate of Fate, I'm going to finish it off. And why? Very simple. Because you can get a lot of Trinity crystals as well as potentially free Trinity vouchers this way. Let me just bring up a character. Okay. Unlocking every single bond gives crystals, right? So there's 30 here, 45 here, right? Let me just find a character who I don't have any bonds done on. And that would be Olivier. So, right? 15, 15, 30, 30, 45. So that's 30, 60, 90, 135 Trinity crystals right here, just from unlocking everyone's bonds, right? In addition to that, if you do the Gate of Fate, right, in addition to whatever side rewards there are from doing these missions, you can also get 30, 60, and 90 Trinity crystals for getting all the stars, right? So that's another 180 Trinity crystals. So that's you're looking at 180 plus 135 Trinity crystals. That's 315 Trinity crystals per character you clear. And once again, that's in addition to any potential rewards you can get from doing the actual missions, right? For example, if I bring up Estelle's Gate of Fate and take a look at some of the feats, right? There's you know, a Trinity voucher here and some Trinity crystals here, right? And most missions give that, right? Trinity crystals, you know, Trinity crystals, and also, ooh, I actually missed this one. Win within 8 turns. Then that's 2 Trinity vouchers. So I may have to actually go back and do this one more time, just to get those 2 extra Trinity vouchers. So my goal is before the end of the Leonhardt summoning event, right, which is 10 days, I will have done as many of these runs as possible to farm up as many Trinity crystals as I can to make one more attempt to get Leonhardt. So that's my focus for the next 10 days. As an interesting note, when I did my summoning on the event, I had used up 1,435 draws. I currently have 1,484, right? So that means I had actually done an additional 49 draws via hero summons, okay? And in those 49 draws, I actually got 2 SSRs. So that was really, really good. Unfortunately, the first one was the second copy of Rene. So I now have a 4-star Rene. The second one was Leon without the heart. So I got 50 extra shards of Leon. And I have no use for it because Lana is at 6 stars as well. So this couple is completely finished. So these shards are complete garbage for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extract all of these shards in the extract memories section. And you can see, by extracting them, I'm actually getting 3,145 memory essences. So that lets me purchase an extra runestone for this month. So there we go. And I also have 2,753 memory essence. So I'm very, very close to getting yet another runestone. So it just goes to show, runestones really become more and more common the longer you play. Yeah, that just sums it up pretty well. So there we go. That's pretty much my current status in terms of shard farming, because I just really want to get Leonhardt. You know, even if I'm not going to be using him for a while, because I can't farm him up to 6-star Leonhardt anytime soon, having him just gives me more opportunities for the future, especially for Season 2, where I may get him up to 6 stars, and then he's another very versatile and high utility character for Summit Arena. So we'll see. So fingers crossed that I will get a copy of Leonhardt in the next 10 days. Last but not least, in terms of characters and equipment hasn't changed since last week, so I'm not even going to bother going over that. As I said, I'll go over my equipment near the start of Summit Arena when I've pretty much finalized my gear, because currently I haven't done any equipment upgrades, right? You can see I have tons of copies of equipment. You know, look at that. all these carbon fiber helmets, gargoyle jackets, you know. Peacemaker hasn't been upgraded. A lot of holy rings. Just I have a lot of equipment just sitting here, not combined together yet. So, and it's because I'm just busy focusing on bringing my characters up to level. For example, Landius. So Landius currently has his first class mastery, right? I have enough runestones to get his second class mastery. I'm just really focusing my guild medals on that stuff right now. So if I go up, bring up, not the guild event, guild store, right? I'm just trying to gather up materials to purchase all this stuff to upgrade my characters. But other than that, you know, Landius is nearing completion. In terms of bonds, he's at 88% now. So his heart bond has been maxed out. Max. Level 9 on his tanking bond, right? And level 5 on his strength bond. So Landius will be fully prepared very soon as my secondary tank. And then Zerda is my other primary focus right now. She's getting her bond focus upgraded right now. So she's nearly maxed too, right? It's just her toughness bond which hasn't been upgraded. So once I have Landius and Zerda done, my next pet project is going to be the doggy juggler. After all, his bonds are looking pretty good so far too. It's just I need to start collecting bursting heart keys to upgrade him. But I should have juggler finished, you know, before Summit Arena, which means I'm going to have both my tanks ready and Zerda ready. Although I will end up being rather lacking in terms of DPS characters, right? Remember, you're going to need something like 2 tanks, preferably let's say 3 or 4 healers, and then the rest will be DPS characters, right? So I have a lot of DPS characters that I need to build up after that. And in terms of getting them properly geared and properly with double class mastery, that's going to be the challenge for me. Alright, is there anything else to cover? That's characters and equipment status for this week. And I guess next is the training grounds. And in terms of training grounds, well, let's first send off my expeditions before I go over it in greater detail. So, as you all know, because last week I've been focusing all my grinding on A, getting bond materials via Time Rift, and B, I've been doing the limited time event, Trails in Time. So I currently have, as you can see here, 174 gears, 405 vacuum tubes. And I've already done a bit of trading for items, right? The Trinity vouchers and some of the materials, class upgrade materials. So it's just, I'm just really going to be focusing on grinding this event for the next few weeks as well. So dragon runs is going to fall completely behind. All my stamina is probably going to be mainly used on grinding up the event, finishing off the event first before I go back to grinding dragons. So not much will be happening in terms of new equipment. Which is good, because I need to upgrade my existing equipment anyways. And is there anything else to cover at this point? Right, training grounds. So due to me focusing on the event right now, training ground upgrades hasn't really been touched. It's just whatever I get from the expeditions and from the 2 daily runs is the upgrades I do. But that's been the case for a very long time, hasn't it? In terms of my training grounds anyways. So in very many ways, what I've actually been doing is focusing my upgrades instead on the cavalry training ground. Because Landius uses cavalry soldiers. So I need to upgrade the Royal Cavalry. So that means upgrading these techs, right? Increasing their hit points and survivability so that they can tank properly. So that's been my priority and my focus. I've also done some Archer and Assassin upgrades whenever I get the materials. For example, looks like I currently have some silver materials, but I'm just holding off on that because I'm still trying to upgrade this thing, right? The overall attack value. So other than that, you know, That's pretty much sums it up, doesn't it? The Archer and Assassin training ground is still very terrible, right? Cavalry training ground is actually starting to get better, comparatively speaking. You can see there's 24% hit points, 24% defense, 24% magic defense, as compared to 12, 14, 14. So you can see there is a difference starting to show up in these training grounds. And in fact, it almost looks like the Cavalry training ground is kind of catching up to the Lancer one too, right? This has 30, but this has 24, right? So there you go. It's fairly rapidly hitting a very usable state, is what this comes up to. So my Landius tank will be okay soon, and then I just have to start working on Juggler. I'll worry about Archer and Assassin last, and it's the lowest priority for me in general because Zerida can go without soldiers, ultimately. If you use Killing Blow and Alhazard Bloodthirster, she doesn't need soldiers. And she doesn't actually have to use Archer and Assassin, because she can use Hellfire Archers. Hellfire Archers may not be the best soldier, but they work, right? So there are viable alternatives if I don't have the Archer and Assassin training ground upgraded. The only characters who really do need it is, well, obviously Archers and Assassins, like Silver Wolf, right? He uses Samurai, and you actually have to level them up. There's no choice. So, we'll see. I mean, it's a work in progress at the end of the day. I'm hopeful that just doing these 2 dailies every day will get all of my training grounds upgraded to at least the 14, 14, 14 level by the time I need to get serious about Summit Arena. That's my hope anyways. We'll see. So, is there anything else left to cover at this point? Not really, because I've already talked about my bonds, which is just upgrading, finishing Landius, finishing Zerida, then starting on Juggler. I've talked about my farming focus, which is purely to get myself as many Trinity vouchers as possible to try to draw for Leonhardt one last time. And yeah, that's basically all of my focus. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you found this video useful, and on that note, Nitro out.